let's hand it over to the casters.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, alphas and omegas, I am Elise Randolph, joined by moderator, and we've got a heavyweight showdown for you between Pandemic Legion and the Initiative. Pandemic Legion in the red trunks over here with twin Dominixes, Oneros, Myrmidon, double Ishtar, double Daredevil, Purifier, and Sentinel, one of the first Sentinels we've seen all Alliance tournament. Moderator, break down what the Initiative have.
In the blue corner, the Initiative have brought in Armageddon for heavy newts. That Armageddon will be fielding rapid heavy missile launchers, a Hugin for those long-range webs, a Stratios, Prophecy, a pair of Ishtars, a Vexor Navy issue, a Pontifex, and double Deacon Logistics. Initiative. Elise, walk down some of the win conditions for Pandemic Legion.
All right, so both these teams do have a similar idea with these battleships. You know, the battleships in the PL side are two Dominixes. They are drone boats. They have got a lot of utility highs. I imagine they've got smart bombs and heavy newts in there. The Initiative have the same thing with their Geddon. They're going to throw these battleships right up front, and if anyone gets hit with drones, all the people are going to go towards the Dominix/Geddon and get the drone smart bombed off. The Initiative, I think they really have to control this Pandemic Legion Oneros. I think that is their win condition, and they've got the tools to do it in the Hugin and the Armageddon.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see, likewise, what Pandemic Legion will do with those Daredevils. If they can safely get them on top of the Deacons and lock down those low-signature cruisers, that will do a lot. But the Oneros is already tackled off the bat for Pandemic Legion. Pandemic Legion trying to trade out the Hugin. I'm interested to see, can they actually lock it down? They've got newts on the Oneros as well. If Initiative can drop the Oneros early, that will go a long way towards securing the victory.
Yeah, the warp-in was really close for these two pilots. The Hugin was, as you can see, within webbing range of the Oneros. These newts on the Oneros aren't full effect. They're still in falling off. As Uki in the Armageddon, one of the longest and oldest tournament pilots right here, is able to get into range to just completely neuter this Oneros. Really, really dangerous move for the Pandemic Legion team as they are trying to knock down LD Spooth in his Hugin. They're putting everything in on this Hugin.
Likewise, everything is on the Oneros. And there's a bomb going onto the drones on top of the Oneros. It's not getting cleared off, but they're being put low. But it's not enough that Oneros is down, and the Hugin is dropping into low armor. At least, is that trade worth it for Initiative?
That is definitely worth it for the Initiative. The Initiative now have the Logi advantage. Although they have only double Deacons, they still rep quite a bit. Pandemic Legion need to spread out here, and they need to start doing work on these drones. Crate in his Purifier was able to hit a lot of the Initiative drones, but they are not dead at all because they weren't micro warp driving. They just took a little bit of damage. So Vexor Navy issue currently tackled the Sentinel, which didn't really play that much of a role.
The Sentinel's down to a boundary violation. He's ran out of the arena. That Myrmidon is getting neuted. He's target painted. That is the only link ship for Pandemic Legion. The Vexor Navy issue now dropping for Initiative.
Yep, so Vexor Navy issue down, Hugin down, Pontifex going down next for the Initiative side. I gotta say, Initiative seemed to be in the upper hand here as PL's Myrmidon is about to go down. Destoya looks like he's about to die. As you mentioned, those are the only links on the Pandemic Legion side. So all their ships are going to be a little bit slower and a little bit less tanky. And it looks like Pandemic Legion are in a bit of a disastrous state right here.
Right now, what Initiative wants to do is try to pick off the Ishtars. Don't go for the Dominixes that will have the smart bombs that will try to clear your drones. Pick off the Ishtars. We now see that there is a grapple and a paint on top of Alchemist 8, who appears to be the primary for Initiative at the time.
Yep, these Ishtars need to kite away. Next guys and Alchemist 8 need to be very far from one another. So if they do get tackled, or at least shot, they can bounce away. But it doesn't look like that's happening right now. Alchemist 8 is currently grappled, not moving very fast, and I don't see him on a tournament beacon unless I am wrong. We have another bomb coming out from the PL side. Crate is firing yet another electron bomb at some of the drones of the Initiative side to try and clear some damage here, but it looks like he just clipped his own bombs. He killed some PL drones on the way out.
So
and Alchemist 8 in the Ishtar is down.
And the same server tick, we're seeing the Stratios of Faltus drop. Those were the Daredevil webs preventing Faltus from actually activating and getting on top of the micro jump drive beacon. Drones now streaming across the field from Pandemic Legion, moving towards what appears to be either the Ishtar or one of the two Ishtars on the Initiative side. Meanwhile, Next Gaius is dropping rapidly, and is Ishtar Initiative taking the initiative themselves early in the match.
Yep, you can see NextGas is trying to sit next to Avery Lewis's Dominix to smart bomb some of this drone damage off, but these smart bombs, they're not flagship smart bombs. They can't do it. And Avery Lewis seems to be shooting out some fireworks to try and get some morale up, but it is not working as PL lose NextGas in the Ishtar, so they only have 2 Dominixes and a Purifier left. The PL Purifier belonging to Crate, who did great bombing runs earlier, is now caught, and PL only have an Ishtar tackled. As this goes out longer, these Deacons are putting in a lot of work. PL are very far behind right now. They need to control these Deacons, and they got 2 webs off on the Deacons. Okay, so this is a little bit of stabilizing for PL, but it doesn't look like it's going to be as much.
The
Initiatives have much
down
more
the
damage.
Purifier. The Pontifex locked down the Purifier, scram-webbed, so there will be no more bombs from Pandemic Legion clearing off the drones. If Pandemic Legion do lose those 2 Daredevils, those Deacons, still having the links up from the Pontifex and the Prophecy, will likely be able to out-rep any sort of Pandemic Legion damage, and already Avery Lewis is down into half armor. The Daredevils are being controlled with Tacking Disruption and Paints. Deacons being webbed but not grappled by Pandemic Legion, likely not bringing those in the mid-slots. And I don't see any way for Pandemic Legion to come back into this. A huge tournament upset potential right here, right now, as Avery Lewis is dropping down into hole, losing one of those Dominixes, Pandemic Legion, only having 1 damage ship remaining.
Yep, and you see Avery Lewis, he's trying to micro-warp drive over to an MJD beacon, but he is so far, there's no way he'll be able to reach it in time. And Rodix, in the other Dominix, is being controlled by the initiatives getting piloted by Uki. As I was mentioned, Uki, he's been on the AT, involved in the AT since Alliance Tournament 3. He's actually killed the Impoc, as CCP Fozzie reminded me of earlier today. And so, he has ice running through his veins right now, and he is definitely just decimating this PL team. Avery Lewis down in the Dominix. There's just 1 Dominix left for Pandemic Legion, and it is nuded. It is webbed. It is not going to be doing anything.
I'm almost a bit speechless. This is possibly the biggest upset we've ever had in the tournament, excluding, of course, the Tempest House of Hydra match. Daredevil now dropping, and the Deacons having an excellent showing so far. An absolute masterclass in running that logistics. Unfortunately, Pandemic Legion not being able to do anything about them meant that as they were surviving longer than the Oneros, they were just out trading HP for time, and Initiative showing an excellent control of the match and an excellent understanding of the current meta in AT15.
Indeed. And, you mentioned that a big upset previously in the first week was Hydra over Tempest Calcif. Interestingly enough, Pandemic Legion and Hydra are now going to face off next weekend, assuming PL and Hydra can both win their next matches. So they're going to be in the losers bracket together in an elimination match. I mean, obviously right now these are 2 winners bracket teams, so the Initiative and PL, they can't be eliminated no matter what happens. It looks like PL's going to the losers bracket anyways. But, Pandemic Legion and Hydra, their fates seem intertwined here. They get upset in the main stage. They go to the loser bracket only to face one another. My goodness, what a great piloting performance from the Initiative. Catching that Oneros first off, spelling disaster for the Pandemic Legion team. Amazing display, and I'm sure Nick Al is going to be very, very happy about that one. We're going to send it back to Apothony and the boys in the booth.
My brother gets off work at 4 o'clock and we're coming down here to kick some mother.
PL
deliberately lost.
Hey guys, welcome back. PL there losing to the Initiative in another upset. This is the tournament of slaying giants. Hydra in the losers bracket, PL in the losers bracket. If PL and Hydra win their next 2 matches, they will actually face each other in a match that many people would have expected to be, tournament grand finals, winners bracket finals. Instead, we're going to be part way through the losers bracket, PL facing Hydra. This tournament is absolutely insane. Now, we saw 2 kind of weird comps there. PL bringing out Dominix's in it with the Logifrig drone comp for themselves. I've just been told by Lilu Kilik, one of the Logic pilots from Ronin, that the Initiative have scrimmed with Ronin quite hard, so their Logifrigs are serious business, as we did see there. So Tony, give me your thoughts and maybe some camaraderie, as both of us are from teams that have lost matches that perhaps we weren't expected to.
Well, I think the Initiative is a really strong team, just like Templars is. The match was really interesting, actually. We saw sentry drones, we saw smart bombing Dominix's. Like, both teams are kind of fit to kind of counterplay that sort of drone comp.
So we actually have the instant replay here of the exact moment the Neros died, because that was a really smooth move by the Initiative. We see here just it's got web, it's got neuted, the drones arrive on the Pandemic Legion in Neros. It looks like that the Dominixes were out of position to help protect it there, and the Neros just gets absolutely blapped. Here it goes, beginning of armor. We're just doing it second by second here. It goes down through armor. We're not even seeing a rep cycle. It's taking so much damage. And there it goes in the matter of mere seconds. Now, the Initiative did lose their Hugin at that point in time. Very big, important ship, helpful getting those ships down. But, with no Logi versus Logi, in a comp that is designed to have Logi, that's 17 points down. That's a really, really big loss. Jintan, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think some of the blame has to rest with the creator of the comp, who we happen to have in this very room. Isn't that right, Apothony?
Well, I was the one who posted, the idea, the fundamentals of this comp, but, it's everybody works on it. One of the memes in the Discord gap is, don't bother making comps, just Apothony will post every possible combination of point chips, and you just pick the ones you like and make them actually good. It looks like we didn't quite manage to make it quite good enough to face what the Initiative team brought there. However, at least we did remember to enter the tournament in the first place this year. It must be mentioned. So, still, moving on, I hope we've got some of that absinthe left for later. We should look at the winner of the match prediction. I'm told that the vote winner for the PL versus Initiative match is Cat Evergreen. Cat Evergreen, congratulations, you have a Billionisk on your way. So, moving on to the next match today, another very exciting match going forward. This really is the tournament of giant killers. Sorry, somebody's moved my tabs around. Here we go. So, our next match coming up is going to be Pen is Out. Main alliance for the corporation, Rapid Withdrawal. Draw what conclusions from the combination of those names you will. Going up against the Salt Farmers. 2 of the lesser-known teams, Pen is Out obviously from Gal Mill. I'm not too familiar with the Salt Farmers. Pen is Out beating It's Only Pixels and Ghost Legion. That's a nice kill. Ghost Legion is a team comprised of the Nasty Boys, which do very well in EVNT. So a really nice kill there for Pen is Out, even if it's from a team we haven't seen in the tournament much before. And then the Salt Farmers have defeated Solar Fleet and United Federation of Conifers. Now, Salt Farmers killing those teams. Solar Fleet and Conifers, I think, 2 probably of the weakest teams we've seen this tournament so far. So Salt Farmers are yet to bag them a nice kill of one of the stronger teams, as Pen is Out have. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything in regards of what the results are going to be. Jintan, your thoughts on this match, Pen is Out versus Salt Farmers?
Yeah, I think Pen is Out might be getting a salty surprise if they underestimate the power of that Salt Farmers team. They are as of yet untested, but their pilots themselves do seem to be executing incredibly well. They've managed to basically not lose any real ships and not make any mistakes, even against those weaker teams. And we've seen a lot of that from higher tier teams in this tournament so far.
Okay, so we have the bans coming in here. We have the Pen is Out banning the Gila and the Ishtar, not wanting to see 2 very strong core drone ships. And then Salt Farmers banning the Guardian and the Oneros. Again, classic double armor Logi ban. But one of the things we're seeing in this tournament more and more, we saw it a little bit last year, especially from the Ronin, but now more and more teams are getting on the Logifrig love train, which I love, as I posted a very, 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 very long article about them at the end of the last Alliance tournament. Suetonia, what are your thoughts on how Logifrigs are impacting the meta? And thus, obviously, they must impact the bans, as solid ban choice is always banning armor or shield out by banning those T2 Logis, but bringing in the Logifrigs as being viable, as well as naturally the AT logistics, kind of removes that ban from being as powerful.
I think where Logifrigs really shine is that they're actually very good against the shotgun comp, the Navy BC core, as well as the heavy drone spam. We've seen even some drone teams actually start to ban Deacon and ban Scalpel because those Logifrigates, because they have such low SIGs with an oversized afterburner, they're actually very difficult for heavy drones to hit. And so by bringing those Logifrigates, they're not actually weak to drones as the standard Aneros or Scimitar would be.
Yeah, it's very difficult to apply, especially if you even like slap an MWD on them, slap a 10 MNAB, if you sacrifice a little bit of tank. Not only are the drones struggling to keep up, they're just not tracking, they're not applying anywhere near their potential damage. And all the while that's happening, you're losing ship after ship after ship, especially if you go in for that all-in drone setup where you don't have much sustain for yourself. Jintan, what do you think about this matchup given the bans here? I'll repeat them again for the audience. Pen is out banning Gila, Ishtar, Salt Farmers banning Guardian and Neros.
I don't really have anything. I don't think we can predict much from that. Those just seem like powerful archetype-based bans. Banning the Gila and Ishtar is obviously just banning out drone comps, but so many comps that we've seen are weak to those drone all-ins. And then the Aneros Scimitar are just trying to reduce your opponent's choices in terms of logistics. I wouldn't be surprised to see one of these teams go for a Tinker again, something similar to what Snuffed Out brought against Northern Coalition, or potentially even the Northern Coalition comp with the Rabisu. I know both of these teams may have access to them. So.
Well, Pen is out has a Flag Bal ready to go. They won't necessarily bring it, but they may well. Salt Farmers do not have a flagship available. That in itself gives a significant advantage to Pen is out. It means that they could dodge a Balgorn ban if one had happened. It means that Salt Farmers are under the threat of a flagship Bal comp, which we know, of course, are very strong. We've seen throughout the tournament. I'm told we have some special graph coming up. I haven't been told what it is, but I can make some guesses at what it's likely to be. The smug level going from Nikal starting at obviously 20% smug there and going up to a full 110% smug as mine goes down over 0, 1 and 2 units of... See now, graph friends, I love you, but as a mathematician, you need to label all your axes of what these mean. Come on, pick up your game, friends, pick up your game. Now, moving swiftly on, we are, on to Pen is Out versus Salt Farmers. Big shout out to our sponsors as we do have a few minutes before the match even. Chill Blast, thank you so much for sending us some cool kit to run the show today, as well as obviously Antenna for hosting us and allowing us to use their studio. Massive shout out to the guys over the Alt Lounge viewing party going on. Really awesome, fun venue. I'm actually starting to plan a day out just to visit Nottingham, come have a day here at some point with a few friends. Then we've got the Eventy London meet on the 18th of November, which is always fun every year, one of the oldest meets that goes on in the EVE space. Remember to vote on matches. We've been giving away 1 billion ISK per match over at vote.eve-nt.uk. Tweet at #ATXV if you have any comments or questions for the panel here. We'll get to them when we can. And then, of course, do follow and subscribe our channel on Twitch. And check out our YouTube where we are uploading the matches as fast as possible. We've already got all of last weekend up. We have most of the feeder rounds and we'll be uploading the matches from this weekend as soon as we possibly can. So really, if we just in the last few minutes kind of throw back to this idea, this is the tournament of giant killers. I think for a long time, up until maybe 2 or 3 tournaments ago, it was kind of standard logic that there were the good teams and there was everyone else that would just get stomped on, and then the real tournament started in maybe the round of 8, even the round of 4 in some cases. We have seen, thanks to the feeder rounds, thanks to Eventy hosting tournaments around the year, a much higher rate of literacy in the entire community towards EVE tournaments, and we've seen a lot more engagement for a lot of different alliances, a lot of different people, which means that the average skill of all the teams has raised quite significantly and have posed threats, as we've already seen. Tempest Calcif taking out Hydra, the Initiative here taking out PL. I'm told we got 30 seconds to the match, so as much as I wish we could discuss that, we'll do that after the match. Let's head over to the casters for Salt Farmers versus Pen is Out.